March 10th, or some call it Mario Day, MAR10. I know most of you probably know that, but if you see it on some milk, it usually says MAR10. We call it Mario milk. Anyways, guys, what's up? It is March 10th, like I said, 5:42 a.m. here. Would have been 4:42 a couple days ago. Guys, today's video actually is going to be something a little different. I've had you guys ask about if I wanted to do videos on firearms or watches, they're just headphones. There's tons of different things that I've had. Somebody's asked me what was in these boxes back here. I'm like, well, those are headphones. And I've had people, ask me, a couple of you, do you like firearms? Are you into the sport? Do you carry? So with that being said, you guys know I don't give a lot of firearm reviews. I've never given one, and watch reviews, things like that. So with that being said, I have no idea how many views we're at. Been kind of frozen for a while at 39,600 on my thing, something like that. I know we're over 40,000, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching. 165 subscribers. You're very, very important to me. I saw that, and Jordan, I see that you subscribed. You're one of my best friends. You know that. You're like a brother to me. You are my brother. I know that you will probably never see these videos, but you probably did that for support, and just letting you know, man, I see you too. I appreciate that. So I thought, okay, what can we do here? If I'm going to show a firearm, what should I show? Should I show a Glock 45, which is one of my favorites, which is a combination of a Glock 19 and a Glock 17, full size and mid-size there? Or should I do should I show like my favorite shotgun, like a Benelli M4? Now that's really cool, guys, because I don't know if you know a lot about Benelli M4s, but there's different versions of them, and certain things you have, there's certain rules, and when I was getting this, I had to, make sure I knew what I was doing here. Like, you're not allowed to have your extended tube that holds so many, and a pistol grip, and an collapsible stock. There's a lot of rules. If you were to import a gun, it has to, if you have more than one of those things on there together, which, longer tube. See, I'd already had the O-ring lights, but it had that. It has the pistol grip. It has, it's the newest version, so it's got a metal hand guard on it, and the collapsible stock. All that stuff, you have to use two domestic pieces. So when that was sent in, I don't know what two American pieces they used, but it had to be properly, it has to be properly done to make it legal here, guys. And so the other thing is, it's like, well, maybe people want to see, maybe want to see a rifle. Maybe they want to see a Armalite, or an AR. Guys, AR stands for Armalite. That was the original company and stuff or whatever that made ARs. It does not stand for assault rifle. You can assault somebody with a rock. It is what it is. I sometimes call them assault rifles. They're not assault rifles. Okay, so, the Daniel Defense is kind of my go-to here, guys. Like the Mark 18s are really cool. My favorite's probably going to be, well, it's not going to be, but the M4A1. That's one of my favorites. But the Mark 18 is super cool too. But today, what we're going to talk about is if you could have one gun, I guess, what would you do? It's kind of a roll-in video. Made this video yesterday. It was, daylight savings time. So I usually get up in the middle of the night. For some reason, I slept and I was still tired. I got up because it's Sunday. I usually play Madden, not usually, always play Madden on Sundays with my homie Mike. And so I got up and I did this review, guys. It was terrible. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember most of it. I think I passed out during half of it. I don't know. So on what I did last year is I'm, you have to, to carry, for work and just where I'm at, guys, depending on what community you're in, what your laws are and things like that, it is sometimes safer to carry, and it's always safer to carry, in my opinion. Everyone's going to have their own opinions. So, if somebody who if you own multiple firearms or whatever, then you may have a different one for, concealment, outside carry, and you may have something different for the home. And I'm just talking if you have handguns, guys, not if you have a shotgun or a rifle. We're not going to get into that. So if you have multiple, you may have multiple, I will carry a 365 Sig Sauer 365 380, if I'm wearing shorts or something like that, because it's lighter, it doesn't pull on my pants. You've got these big cell phones, you've got, your wallet, your keys, it's, a knife, it's, maybe you're carrying a carry coin. It gets a little extreme. So it kind of comes down to this. What are my favorite, if I were, well, not one of my favorite, but what if I were to only have one firearm and I was going to have to carry it and use it for home, what would I have? So what I came down to is I'm a big Glock fanboy and I like Sig Sauer. When you pick up a 43X, and I know they make magazines that are bigger now, the SRS, I think, is the brand, 15. They have 15 round magazines, and also you can put in a cinch and make them 20 or 21, I can't remember. But I love the way the 43X fits in my hand, guys. I picked up a Sig Sauer 365, like 5 years ago, I can't remember, and a 9mm. It was a 365X, and I never put it down. So I bought a Hellcat. I tried it out. There's a Hellcat 43X, and I know there's other ones. There's Taurus, GX series, but for me, when I came to it, I really liked Sig, the versatility that they had. And my two most accurate handguns, or with me shooting them, are the Glock 45 and a Sig Sauer P320. So, and it's the, the X comp. So it's kind of like, okay, what do I like Sig because I don't know if you know this, but you can buy the fire control unit by itself. Now, those are like $500, $400, $500. Guys, to me, if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and buy the gun, because you're going to have to buy accessories anyways. And even if you're wanting to kind of make your own, it's kind of nice to go ahead and have if you want to change your slide or if you want to change your grip, to have that. And I'll show you what that is in a minute. The fire control unit is the part that actually has the serial number, and it actually is the trigger, it's the part that you fire. Makes sense, right? Fire and control unit. So I went through the SIGs. They had a new one last year. I can't remember what it's called. It has 21 round magazines, which will fit in the one that I'm about to show you. It was a little heavier. The nose was a little longer, AKA the barrel. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on Sig Sauer and I'm going to custom make me a firearm. Something that I can use at home if I needed to. Something I can carry with me that's not going to be super thick, heavy, blah, 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 blah. So here's what we did, guys. It was the video. I don't know if you know this, but Sig always puts, like this one says March 5th, 2024. So that's when this one came off and they made the sticker or whatever. That's kind of how Sig rolls, guys. And hey, by the way, happy birthday, Michael Irvin, on that day, Playmaker. But I got the gun actually today, a year ago. And so yesterday, it was Sunday. I like doing reviews on Sundays. It's kind of chill. I like talking with you guys. And by the way, I will get to those comments, okay? I read them all, and I will try to respond. Life's crazy sometimes. So, again, I sat down. I did this review yesterday. It was terrible, guys. So I just really wanted to go ahead. It's not even really, I guess it could be a review. So anyways, I got online, and this is something that you can do as well, is I thought, man, I'm a little extra in life, and I want it to be exactly like me. You know, I want it to be for me. And so, like, here you can see on the side over here, and it's custom works, and it's built for, and it's got my name here. And so these kind of boxes, this is what it came with. The red tape is over so that you can adjust the code. So if you guys see it's a 000, I don't use this box. I have all my guns locked in and safe. So this is what the inside looks like with all your paperwork and stuff. And this is kind of a velvet. If anyone's ever interested, if you really like SIG and you're thinking, you know what, I'm gonna get on there and custom make one, that's what this is for too. You got your little challenge coins. SIG has the little challenge coins. I keep everything, guys. There's the receipt where I've got it transferred over. So, because I am, you know, a citizen of America, I needed to have this shipped to FFL, okay? Which I had it shipped to where I worked at the time, and I stood on the other side of the counter and filled out a background check and let my buddy Brad run it for me because, you know, he's the manager anyways. And the good old American government said, you can have it, sir. And I said, thank you. I shall do you proud. So, guys, before I pick up this gun and start talking about it, please, 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 I implore you, always follow the 5 rules of safety, guys, which, you know, don't put your finger on the trigger, and these aren't in order. So just like, always, if you're at a range or whatever, always aim down, you know, the range. Never around holding your gun all over the place. Know what's, you know, pretend there's a giant laser at the end of this gun, and wherever you do this, you're sweeping people, and regardless of why, it's just dangerous. Okay? If that laser were to touch somebody, you know, it's the same as the bullet were to go off, you know, or the gun were to go off. Bullets don't go off, guys. You know, don't put your finger on the trigger. That is a huge freaking rule, guys. Trigger discipline, okay? Don't put your finger on the trigger. I know I'm preaching to a lot of you guys that already know all this. Until you're ready to pull the trigger, okay? And only pull the trigger if you flip and mean it. So, what mine is what we're gonna do is, we're gonna pick it up. Guys, this is a Sig 365. First thing we're gonna do, got the finger off that, right? Gonna empty the magazine. I have an empty one in here. And then we're gonna pull back. Some people stick their fingers in there and do all sorts of weird stuff. Not me. I kind of, you know, I'm very aware of what I have in there already. This is just, you know, to double check. You always want to double check. You have no idea how many people will come in and say their weapon wasn't loaded and hand it to me to pawn. And a bullet comes flying. I'm sorry. I took the magazine out. It's like you chambered one, you know? So that's a little dangerous. But what we have here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the magazine back in, guys. It is completely empty. Everything's completely empty. Again, the 21 round magazines will fit in this. There's flush ones that will fit in here. This right here is a 17 round mag, and you see where I've got big hands. You see where that comes to. When the bullets are in there, or ammunition, whatever you want to call it, guys, it doesn't move very much at all. So, one of the cool things, I'm going to go ahead and drop that. Every time I drop the magazine, guys, just check, okay? So one of the very cool things about this is, or about SIG, is here's that firing control unit, right? And you see this little thing right here? All you have to do is push this out. So I ordered this. The grip is a special grip. It's an, you know, what do you want to call it, an upgraded grip or whatever. So it's not the normal one that they come in. They have several different styles of grips. Guys, a regular 365 is a smaller gun. It holds like 10, and then this one's hold 12. So what you want, the 365X is the 12. So what is really cool about this, and you, I'm gonna go ahead and show you some really cool features real fast. So normally you can tell there's a compensator built in here. What that does is when you shoot, it's supposed to kick the, you know, some of the it's supposed to put some of the force instead of just, you know, the recoil. It's supposed to shoot some of it out top. Now, it is early, and, you know, I haven't given a gun lesson in my entire life, so if I space on something or whatever, just let it be. So all SIGs have tritium night sight, pretty sure. If not, I'd say 99% of them. But do I want the compensator built in? I'd had one built in. I'd had it gone. Doesn't make any difference to me. I will say it, you know, I have it on there because this is I use this as a carry gun, guys. It's very thin for what it is. Okay, and it's pretty darn light. So this was kind of my work weapon as well, you know, protection or whatever you want to call it. So if I were to pull this out and shoot it, I was hoping, you know, that, you know, if you're raising it to shoot, that would, you know, adjust a little more. I don't have any problems. Anything that I could add to help, you know, because if you are shooting it in public, guys, which, you know, it's my prayers that I never have to use these every time. You know, nobody wants to use it unless you're going to the range to have fun. But you don't want to hurt anybody else. So I went ahead and put that in there. Now, some people will say if you pull out and, you know, in a carjacker and you shoot, then that's going to shoot out sparks and everywhere, and it might get you in the face. I'll take the little bitty burns over someone trying to assault me. We'll work with that. Now, I will say that it is a hell of a lot louder. That makes it a lot louder, in my opinion, the boom booms, okay? And you guys can see I've got the slits cut out here. So, you know, some people hate that. Hickok 45, best channel in the world when it comes to firearms. He's not into this kind of stuff because, you know, your gun goes in, you know, say you have it here, you put it in here. Well, look, that's exposed, and now you got that down wherever. You're gonna get dirt in there, you're gonna get lint, fuzz, dog hair, whatever. So there's that. The second thing I did is I picked out, we'll call it gold because we like gold, the control unit here. You can do black, whatever. If you guys know, some of theirs is curved. This is this right here, and again, guys, don't touch triggers, okay, unless you're gonna shoot. There you go on the back. Now, this is, again, an upgraded casing here, or excuse me, grip. Get your slide release. Guys, okay, so and then here's your custom work, so you guys can see that right here. So there's where it says that. Your serial numbers in the gold here. Now, on all my firearms, guys, you may laugh, you may not like this. If they are important to me and I know I'm not going to sell them, on one side, and they are all my SIGs, it's right here, the Superman shield, the same exact location. And I try to do it on all the, you know, any Glocks or anything. And the reason I said SIGs is because, you know, they're all kind of shaped the same. But on one side I have this, and on the other side, M2 for Mark II. And right there you can see where it says SIG. Okay, so another thing is, guys, this up here is an EPS carry. You can either do the dot or you can do the target, or I can't think of what it's called right now. So you can, and it is a green dot. So you can do red. Green's a little more expensive. It's a little brighter for me. Stigmatisms and stuff like that, I catch the green better than I do the red. However, there's not that big of a difference. You can get orange, you get whatever. Green is the way I went. Guys, this piece right here, EPS carry, there's bigger ones. This one's actually made for this gun. It's made by Holosun. Okay, and then that right here is solar. So it does not run, well, you can put a battery in here, I think, for here. But however, this has like, I think it was like, I can't remember. I'm not gonna even say a ton of hours. You know, I carry it, but I put it in a safe. I have never charged it, never put it outside. So I am gonna take the slide off and just sit it out there. for a day, you know, when it's nice and sunny. Let it charge, and I think we'll be a-okay. But this thing is super cool. It's super sturdy. Don't have to use a plate. It sits perfectly right flush down into the Sig. Again, made for it. So, guys, you want to know how to take your firearm apart. You don't want to make this too long, but there's two buttons over here. One is a slide release, which means, I don't know how much you guys know, but again, no bullets. Say you're firing, boom, 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 boom. Notice my finger's not on the trigger. Your last shot, your gun should stay open like this, and that's for you to hit your mag release right here, drop your mag, and to get another one, and to put it back in there. Then you hit this slide release, let's see, right here, and watch what it does. It will slide that forward, okay? And what that did is that just chambered a bullet if there was one in that magazine. So you drop your empty mag, this is open, put a new one with bullets in it, hit that slide. Now, if you practice with just pulling back, you can just give it a little tug and it'll just come back and then slide forward. And that does the same thing. Do whatever you do every time, okay? Me, if I was in danger, I'd probably hit the slide release to try to get it done as quickly as possible. However, if you're used to doing this, just do it, okay? Do what you're used to doing. To clean this gun or to take it apart, because again, so what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna slide it back, and then when you slide it back, you take that same button we hit, the slide release, you're just gonna push it up, okay? Then this is what's gonna break down a Sig Sauer right here. You take this and you push that down. You guys see that? Push that down, and then this is what I was talking about, pulling it back. So now check that out. So it's like this. Now your slide is just going to slide on off. Guys, all you do, always pay attention to how this comes apart. Your spring will come out. This is it for cleaning, okay? That's it. There's your barrel. There's this guy. There's not much you need to do to that, okay? Nothing in there. To get it back together, just simply put it back in and make sure you put your spring back to where it goes, okay? You want to make sure you put these back together right, okay? So, let's see here. Okay, valve stall, pretty sure. You can use any kind of gun oils, guys, but that's a really good one. You want to put that in your barrel and everything else. So on the other side, and here, you would just maybe get a little bit down on the spray nozzle part, and then just any part where metal touches metal. So here and down in here, over here, but try not to get it anywhere here. Now this is that fire control unit. It's cool because mine's, again, gold, so it will actually help you see the serial number right here. What you would do, if you wanted to put this in a different grip size, and I have different ones. So this is, again, one that holds 15. I have a bigger one that's metal. I have smaller ones. I have the original one because I've changed them out on pretty much all of them. I want all my Sigs to feel the same. So none of them have the original grip. So you would just literally take something and push that through, and then this just lifts right out, lifts straight out. You put it in another one, push the thing back through, and you're done, guys. So what you want to do here is, after you've done this and you're done with everything, you want to make sure your spring's in there right. Come back over, slide this on, pull your gun down, okay? Once you put it in lock, most of the time it'll go ahead and knock that lever back up. Now your gun's ready. This is what I was talking about. I'm not going to use the slide release this time. So you just grab it, pull down a little bit, and it's done. And that's how most people do that. Now, do these guns have the best trigger release and reset? It's good. Okay, it's a lot better to me on these than it is on the Curve. Again, guys, nothing in here, not a magazine, okay. Walther, it's got the best trigger in my opinion, hands down. Geisley, great triggers. So on this one, I am going to show you guys. There's your brake, okay? And then I do like brake on mine. To me, Taurus has a little bit too much brake. But I'm just telling you, if you were to get like a Walther, right there, it's going off. So watch really closely. About right here is your wall. And here's gonna be your reset. So what a reset is after the gun is fired, how long until the trigger clicks again, which means you can reshoot or refire. All right, I'm gonna start going. Okay, so again, some people would not be very happy with that trigger reset. Again, it's what gun are you used to? If you've shot Tauruses, you're gonna be really good with that. Probably if you shot Glocks, you're gonna be good with that. I'm gonna do it one more time. And the reason that, again, I went ahead and did the trigger pull, once you put your gun back together, guys, I always recommend dry firing one time. Make sure there's nothing in there over and over if you have to. Depends on how coordinator, goofy, whatever you want to call yourself, but you know, however you want to have fun with it. But again, just one more time so now you guys can see or hear. So there's your brake, wall, pull. And if you guys ever want to check your reset, just don't let go of the trigger after you did it. You have to go ahead and cock it back. Okay, let it go up. And then here we go. So, and then after you do that, go ahead and do that, and you guys should be good. And that is that, guys. So what do you think? This is my Sig 365. It just says P365 on it. So it is from their custom works. If you guys want to look these up, you can do this build. Don't really need to tell how much they cost or even the Holosun, because if you guys want that, you can definitely look that up, and prices change over time anyways. But again, if I want to make it a 365, I can put it in an itty bitty one. I can have to where the grip stops right here instead of all the way down here. Look at that. If I wanted in something longer, I can put it in something longer. I just thought the versatility of this, especially as I, you know, you can't really say design it because you're taking their designs and you're just kind of putting them together like, oh, you hit this and this. Not like, I want to cut it here and I want this here. Now the M2, that engravings, though, that came straight from them. The Superman, and that was the only one I had done from them, guys. I actually took all my firearms and knives and everything else and took them to a guy named Scott Springfield Laser, I think is what his company is. If you guys are from around here, he is the man. He can engrave anything, and he's the one that did my Superman shields on all my firearms and knives. Some of them I had him do like this. Some of them I had him do like more of a, just kind of like this style. Let me turn around here. Some of them look like this. I had it done on some of those just to be different. So instead of coming out like that, it just blends in. So what do you guys think? This is the video. It's going to be almost 30 minutes long. Again, I don't know if I missed anything, but as for a personalized carry, if, you know, it's very thin, so I wear it inside the waistband. Not an issue at all. You know, right now it's empty, guys. You put 17, even plus one or whatever in there, 18 bullets, ammunitions, fire, boom, whatever. You know, it gets a little heavier. But I just want to appreciate everybody again for watching this, for the interest in these things. Again, this will probably be the only firearm that I do something like this for, and it's just because this is a custom made one. It's not something that I bought from, you know, the factory and they sent me a generic one. It was something I got on. I said, I want this grip, I want this here, I want, you know, the engravings, and then, you know, what am I going to put on? I don't use red dots or anything like that ever. This is what, except on rifles, you know, this is the only one that I have. That's not true. I have two more. See, but this is the only Holosun I have that's like this. I had 2 of them, but one of the firearms that I had it for is a bigger one, and so I have it on there, but it never gets used, guys. It's just this thing right here. You can tell, like, I don't know if you can see this, but inside there's lint, there's dirt. So I need to clean it again. You know, I do clean it after I fire it, if I go to the range or anything like that. However, guys, again, being on the inside of jeans or wherever, it's gonna get dirty. So just hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you're not into the Sig Sauer's 43X, it's a freaking awesome gun. The P365X's, or just a regular P365. Maybe you guys like the Hellcat. Let me know. This isn't a ploy just to get your comment. It's actually just curiosity. So if you made it to the end of the video, what's your favorite firearm? Do you guys have something that you carry every day? Do you have something that you're hoping to get soon? What do you think of this thing? Is it ugly? Is it cool? I don't care. I mean, I do care if you say it's cool. I'll be like, hey, cool. If you say you don't like it, I'm going to be like, okay. You know, I mean, there's not, I mean, I don't know. So the one thing is, guys, you will have to get if you put on a red dot, you will have to get a special holster so that that guy fits right in there. Okay, and then these are really good. I say that and it slides out. So, again, made this video yesterday, guys. It was maybe a couple minutes shorter, but it sucked. So this one I'm going to go ahead and put out. I hope everybody enjoys the content. Maybe we do another one, maybe we don't. I just feel like there's better people out there to describe firearms. And so much love to you all. Guys, it's Monday. Have a hell of a week.